It's been a while since I made a video on Spreaker. And I'm going to try to keep this as short as I possibly can. I know sometimes I could be a bit long-winded. But I'm going to try to keep this short. I want to respond to a video that Dr. Umar Johnson made about 2 weeks ago. A video that was quite outside of the norm of what he usually creates. And the video he titled was Aliens Are Real. Now, I'm going to let you listen to what Umar Johnson had to say. Now, there are a lot of people, even the people that believe in a flat earth, are teasing and making fun of Dr. Umar Johnson because of the experience he claims to have had. Now, I believe him just by his energy when he was sharing his experience. I believe him because that's the type of experience that you really can't share with people. Because although we're living in a time where demons are actually out in the open, the media is talking about things that are demonic. There are people that still don't believe in the unseen. They may speak on the unseen. They may speak on flat earth. They may even call themselves a Satanist. But when it comes to real manifestations, they seem to have a problem with that. Now, I recall when I was about maybe, I'm guessing 6 or 7, and I shared a video on this once before, when I recall sitting in the living room with my mother, my father, it was my grandmother, my sisters, and my brother. And my father had just came back from Florida, and we were sitting there, eating sugar cane, and my mother had her peanuts and whatnot. We were sitting there chilling, and I happened to look outside of the window, and I saw what appeared to be a flying saucer, and it had various colors around it, and it was spinning. And I yelled out, and I told my family what I saw. Now, I was a quite unusual child because I came into this world with a veil over my face. Now, in the medical field, they call it a caulk or something to that effect, but it's where the child's face is covered with a piece of skin. And I recall the story that my mother told was that my father did not have enough money to pay, or they didn't have insurance, and he didn't have enough money to pay for me to be brought into the world, to pay the hospital bill. And my mother was saying that there was a doctor, it was an army doctor, that was from out of town, and she had no insurance, so the hospital wouldn't see her, right? But this doctor, which was out of town, was a foreign doctor, an army doctor, had asked my father how much money did he have in his pockets. And I think my father probably had a couple of dollars. And the army doctor says, well, give me that. And my father gave it to him. And then, of course, they brought me into the world. Now, I was born breeched. Okay? I was born, instead of coming out head first, I was brought out feet first. And because of the awkward positioning I was in my mother's womb, my arm was broken. Okay? They broke my arm trying to pull me out of my mom's womb. And when I came into this world, the doctor told my mother that you have a very unusual child. He told my mother that a veil was over my face and that I was going to see things. Just throughout life, I'm going to see things. I'm going to have dreams and visions. I'm going to know things before they even come to pass, you know? And my mother always kept that with her. And to this day, it's been happening since I was a child. I've had dreams. I've had visions, still do to this day. I see things. I know things before they happen. I've seen demons. I've seen angels. I've seen some very strange things, but having a gift or a talent like that, you just can't tell everybody, because not everyone is ready to receive stuff like that. You know, you have people that's still in the carnal. Again, although we live in a world where the news is talking about things that are demonic, and we're seeing demonic activity unfold right before us. Demons are out in the open in human form, but yet when it comes to people talking about aliens or extraterrestrial or even angels or demons, there's people that have problems with that. Now, Sanchez, he's on YouTube, and he's always talking about the flat earth. And my question is, how could you mock and make fun of Dr. Umar Johnson for his alien experience when you believe in a flat earth? When I'm sure you've never been inside a spaceship, you've never actually viewed from space to be able to witness that the earth itself is flat. But there's a video, and I'm going to let you listen to Dr. Umar Johnson, and I'm going to close this video out. But there's a video I made on my Dream channel, and I'm going to put that link on the bottom here in the description box. And I want you to go back, and this is a video where I talked about my encounter with some angels, which happened to be coal black. They were as black as night, but they were radiant and glittering. But I'm going to post that video on the bottom, and you can go and listen to that video for yourself. And this is my encounter with angels. Now, some people may refer to them as aliens or extraterrestrials, but yes, they are real, right? And even in the Bible, it says, be not forgetful how you entertain strangers, for some have entertained angels unaware. So I'm going to let you listen to Dr. Umar Johnson and his encounter. Listen to what he has to say.
Are aliens real? Yes, aliens are real. Because an alien visited me in Jacksonville, North Carolina. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida right now, but I used to live in Jacksonville, North Carolina. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida right now, but I used to live in Jacksonville, North Carolina. And when I was in the 3rd grade in Jacksonville, North Carolina, 9 years old, 8 years old, me and my mother were looking out the window and we saw a UFO. We said, is that a UFO? I said, nah, that might be a plane. Maybe that's the military expedition, military air. It was a UFO. So we watching this UFO. It kept swirling around. It was way up in the sky though, but it had all these lights and it was going in a circle. And my mom said, okay, it's time for you to go to bed. So I go to bed, but I'm not asleep. You know how you laying down in your bed before you fall asleep? Jacksonville, North Carolina. And the next thing you know, this yellow thing walked into my room. It was about 3 feet tall, shaped like a man, but no features. No, it was just pure yellow light, shaped like a man with no features, pure yellow light. And I'm scared as shit. I want to call my mom or my dad, but I'm scared because we just saw a UFO like 2 hours ago. And this little yellow man, stocky too, he was built like he was a bodybuilder, but all you could see was yellow light in the shape of a man, no eyes, no nose, no mouth, pure yellow. And I'm acting like I'm asleep because I don't want him to know I'm woke. And then all of a sudden, it ran up to me and punched me in my face. I just knew I had a black eye or a broke nose. I just knew I had a black eye or a broke nose. I just knew I had a black eye or a broke nose, and it ran out the room. And I got up and ran into my parents' room, and I said, I just got punched in the face by an alien. They said, boy, go to bed. I said, Umi, we just saw that spaceship. It was real. Because right after you sent me to bed, this little yellow man with no face made of pure yellow light, came into my room, punched me in the damn face. It felt like I had a broke nose, but I didn't. So let me ask y'all this. My alien experts, I'm going to my alien experts right now. Does anybody have an interpretation for the yellow being of pure light? It was pure light in the shape of a man, 3 feet tall, came into my room. I was awake. I was wide awake. I was not asleep. I had just gotten to the bed. Lights was out. He came in there, 3 feet tall, pure yellow light. I tried to act like I was asleep. Somehow he knew I was woke and punched me in the face. Does anybody have an alien interpretation? I'm telling y'all the truth. I'm not making this up.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there, and you can go to his channel, King Kong Consciousness. That's Umar Johnson's channel. Now, before I end this video, and I'm going to put the link on the bottom where you can listen to my experience with these angels, right? And I've had other visions with angels, and as a matter of fact, I shared this before, where I had this one vision, or I traveled to the spot, and this one angel had introduced himself to me, and he said his name was Raphael. Now, I've never heard of Raphael before. And I was talking to some brothers one time. They were like 5%ers and Muslims, and they told me about the Apocrypha. And this is when I first learned about the Apocrypha. And they were telling me about there was an angel in the Apocrypha in the book of Tobit by the name of Raphael. And it blew my mind because I'd never heard of Raphael in my life. But in this vision, he said his name was Raphael, and that he came from God, and that he was there basically to be my guidance or protector or whatever, right? So, and then when I was telling some brothers about this, and that's when they introduced me to the Apocrypha and told me that Raphael was in the Apocrypha, right, in the book of Tobit, right? And so, yeah, but I've seen angels, I've seen demons, what people would refer to as aliens. I've seen them, witnessed them, spoken to them, battled with them. Okay, so, and I've shared that in some of my dream videos. But Umar Johnson, I believe him, but it's quite interesting that he's sharing this now, because this is not an easy thing to share with people, because not everyone is ready to hear this. You know, everyone is not ready to hear it. There are so many people out there that's born gifted, spiritually gifted and talented, that have had experiences and still have experiences to this day, but yet they are afraid to share them. And they're very limited to whom they would share them with, just for the fear of being mocked and ridiculed. Okay, so when I heard Dr. Umar, at first I'm thinking that he was just trolling. He was just saying that, but I listened to him, and he was wide awake. He said his mom was there, just like me. And I'm going to share one other one before I end this video. I remember when I came out the military, I was laying in bed one night, and I was awakened by something or someone slapping me in the back of my neck. And this is what came back to my mind when I heard what Dr. Umar Johnson said. Slapped me in the back of my neck and woke me up. When I turned over to look, there was this image, this creature standing next to my bed. It had a round head. It had a snoot like a dog, right? And it had these big white eyes. And the body was like just, it was beastly, and the feet were like slewfoot, but they were like fingers. And I turned around and I looked, and the thing was like looking directly at me. I turned over and went back to sleep, because I've had so many encounters and I've seen so many things growing up, to the point where you get used to it. So if something appears before me now, it may startle me at first, but then it's like I'll just look at it and just keep going on as normal. Like, and I've seen demons in people. You know, you could be walking down the street, and the demons in individuals can also see you. And you can actually see when they're looking at you and they got their eyes fixed on you. It's a real eerie and crazy feeling. So I believe what Dr. Umar Johnson is saying, and I believe that there are a lot of other people that have had experiences and do have experiences, but it's just hard for them to talk to people. You know, it's almost like you have to find people that's like yourself. And just because a person claims to be spiritual or claims to be in the church or know about demons and devils and talk about how they cast out demons and devils, they're lying, because when you tell them real experiences, they may patronize you a little bit, but then behind your back, they're going to say you kind of mucho loco la cabeza. They're going to say that you are crazy in the head. You know, they're not going to believe you. They may tell you to your face that they believe you, but behind your back, you know, they're going to call you crazy. They're going to say that something's wrong with you. They're going to make up all kind of excuses. Oh, something you ate before you went to bed, or you might have saw something on TV before you went to bed, but they really don't believe. Especially people in the church or call themselves spiritual. They really don't believe. And these people that's always talking about that they're voodoo priestess and witches and warlocks, and they have all of these, they doing these spells. They've never seen a demon in their life. They may talk about demons or may talk about how they call upon their demons to aid them, but they've never witnessed one. They've never really encountered a demonic image. Because if they did, it would not be easy or so easy for them to talk about it. And like I said, I've seen things so many times in my childhood coming up. As a child, my nerves were bad. I used to bite my fingernails, you know, just nerves. My nerves really bad because of the things that I've seen. I used to wake up screaming, you know. My mom's coming there. She's got a mark on her leg. I remember when the Jackson 5 made their debut on the Ed Sullivan Show. And I was asleep. I'll never forget. It was around Christmas time, man. And I was in my room sleeping, and I saw something. And I was screaming. My mother come running in there. She hit her leg on the side of the chair, and she still got a mark on her leg. And when she came in, turned on the lights, and I told her what I saw, man. I saw this woman, man, the big fat lady, laying beside me in bed. She had a head rag on, looked like one of them slave people, right? And she was black as midnight, man. And all I could see is those big white eyes looking at me at night. And I touched it to make sure it wasn't just a blanket. I touched it and I felt that flesh. Man, I let out this big scream. And when my moms came in there, man, turned on the light, she was like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, I thought I saw a fat lady laying beside me. And she told me, just get up, right? And when I got up, went in the living room, man, she said she washed my face, man, with cool water, and said, just sit here for a moment. I was sitting there watching Jackson 5. That's when they first made their debut on the Ed Sullivan Show. You know, I would never forget that. But to this day, she's got a mark on her leg. So seeing things like that so often growing up, man, it's like now if I see things, it really don't bother me. You know, I just see it. And I see it. And a lot of things I keep to myself unless I'm with a family member that I can share with and they understand, you know. So, and my sons, even my sons now, they're shining, as they say, like that movie Shining. They shine, man. They see things, you know. And maybe one day I have one of my sons share what he just encountered, man, recently. You know, he had a demon bite him just this past week. He was telling me about it. And I was telling him it's time for him to start fasting, you know. But he said his demon bit him and was like just grunting and making noise, and was like, it was grunting like it was enjoying his blood and licking his arm or whatever. But he like fought off this demon, you know. So, and I got a sister that's gifted too, but I think in the family, I think my gift is like the strongest, you know. My sisters see things. My brother, he knows things, you know. Every now and then he may share it, But I'm noticing that with my sons now. You know, I got 2 sons, and they're pretty gifted. You know, they have dreams and visions. You know, they see things. You know, so anyway, I'm gonna put a link on the bottom, and you guys go back and check out my experience I talked about. It's on my other channel where I, you know, actually record some of my dreams and visions. And I'm gonna put a link in the description box, and go back and check that out, man. But you know, I'm with Dr. Umar Johnson on this, man, and I do believe that he saw what he said he saw. So feedback, tell me what you think. Until next time, I'm fearless.